But this happened and it is funny as hell. So get ready to laugh. Roland Martin. Roland Martin likes to pick fights with people sometimes on Twitter if they disagree with him back and forth. It happens. And then he picked a fight with someone who kept their word, and that's Jamal Green. Jamal Green ran for mayor of Chicago. He did not win. Brandon Johnson won that seat. And there are a lot of people who are complaining about Brandon Johnson now. But Jamal Green ran for mayor of Chicago. He's an activist. He is very outspoken. And Roland Martin decided to attack him on social media. And Jamal Green showed up in person to show him he meant business. He meant business. So Jamal Green was criticizing the 25K of the economic plan of Kamala Harris. He says, does anybody want to tell me what first generation is code for? LOL. Pay attention to the cryptic words being used to show us what agenda is their agenda. Yet you literally have Black folks acting like the Democrats will prioritize you when you have the lowest home ownership rate in the country at 44%. Like, stop. Okay. So this was Jamal Green retweeting Mario Narfel. And that is just his post. Here comes Roland Martin. He stepped in it. Yes. Leroy said Roland Martin was about to catch hands. So Roland says, are you that dumb, Jamal Green? If Black folks have the lowest home ownership rates, that means incentive for first-time buyers will appeal to Black folks. Are you that clueless? I actually covered that part of the economic plan. I released a video about that, and Roland Martin is wrong. I brought up the numbers and I showed you guys. The reality is that's mainly going to help people that are part of the middle class, and most Black people are, working class. That is not going to help out as many Black people as Roland Martin is trying to assume that it will, because there's a couple of things. Number one is for first-time home buyers or first-generation home buyers. So you need to think about all the Black people that lost their homes during the '08 housing crisis that this wouldn't apply to, because technically they're not a first-time home buyer, and their kid would not be a first-generation home buyer. So everybody just let that soak in for a second. So those people would not be allowed. Then there's also the issue, you got to get approved by the bank. You need a proper credit score to get approved by the bank. The bank isn't going to say, yes, we'll go ahead and give you a loan because you got $25,000 for a down payment, which wouldn't cover any house near me, by the way. Okay. Like, wouldn't cover any house near me. So the bank isn't going to tell you, yay, you got this down payment, let me just go ahead and give you the loan. No, you still have to have the credit score. So you still have to get approved by the bank. There's all these other variables that come into play. And then there was the other stipulation that they added to this, which is that you have to have paid your rent on time for 2 years. And again, like I said, a lot of people that are in that bracket where they're not poor enough to receive government assistance, but they're not making enough money so that they can save money for a down payment for a home. The people that fall in that bracket, they're not going to benefit from this. And there's a lot of people in that spot. So I know I was in that spot. So anyway, Roland stepped in it. And what Jamal Green was trying to say is that first generation is also going to include those who have immigrated to the US, right? So he was just trying to wake Black people up and say, why are you getting into this? So Jamal Green made a good point. He said, pay attention to all the older folk who will criticize the young reactor and reaction instead of holding accountable the older man who started the attacks and sell Black folks out every day. Y'all are the problem with our community and the reason it looks the way that it does. Yeah, so there were a lot of people jumping to Roland Martin's defense and basically telling Jamal Green, how dare you push back on him, and who do you think you are, and all that kind of stuff. You know, the black boule coming to his defense strongly. We all know Roland Martin is a Democrat shill. Remember, he used to be on MSNBC and all this stuff. I think at one point he hosted a show on TV1. And don't forget that Roland Martin was the one who decided to give debate questions to Hillary Clinton. That's why he's not on corporate media anymore. Okay. Just a tidbit there. So then we go on to this part here where Jamal Green did challenge him. And he said, Chicago, when you got eyes on Roland Martin this week for DNC, let me know where he's going to be. I need to make sure we discuss his verbiage in person. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it turns out that Jamal Green is a man of his word because he did address him in person. And these videos are going viral. We're going to take a look at this one first. Roland Martin called me all types of names yesterday on Twitter and on his show, and he ran from me today. He had a woman get in front of him as he backed away, and his team yelled, "Security!" I ain't never seen a man more scared in my life. Keep my name out your mouth. I want all the smoke. Watch this, guys. This is funny.
Hold you 1 second. No, I know. I gave you enough pictures. We gave you enough pictures. Yesterday, you tweeted about it. You tweeted, you called me dumb.
Okay, so Jamal Green is the guy here in the green shirt. And Roland Martin, you can see... You can see his face peeking around his shoulder right here. So watch.
Hold you 1 second. No, I know. I gave you enough pictures. We gave you enough pictures. Yesterday, you tweeted about it.
Watch him try. This is Roland Martin in the orange shirt, and watch him try to hide behind this woman here. So Jamal said, yesterday you were calling me all these names on Twitter.
You called me dumb.
And then there's the call for it, right? Security. There's the call for it. There's another clip too where you can see it from a different angle. I want to show this here. I said, I see Jamal Green is a man of his word because he promised Roland Martin he would speak to him in Chicago. Not sure Roland was prepared though. So this is the other angle where you can see here.
Yesterday, you tweeted about it. You tweeted, you called me dumb yesterday, right? You called me dumb. Yesterday, you tweeted about it. You tweeted, you called me dumb yesterday, right?
See, he said, you tweeted, you called me dumb yesterday, right? So he told him that he was going to find him and he was going to meet him there. And he did. And now Roland Martin's like, don't touch me, wants to walk away. Jamal Green did break this down. Listen to this. He said, here are the actual facts about Roland Martin and I. Roland Martin is a paid aggressor. 2, he's too old to be calling young people out of their names. And 3, he had the opportunity to talk to me in my face, but he was scared. Stand 10 toes on it. Let's listen to Jamal Green.
People need to know the real narrative and the facts. Number one, Roland Martin is the aggressor here. He came after me publicly. He was paid to do so. I was on Twitter talking about how we need to be critical of these campaigns and make sure that we get policies so that when whoever become president, they don't forget about us. Roland Martin called me stupid, dumb, an idiot, and a fool on his show. I never tweeted at Roland Martin. I never talked about Roland Martin at all. He came to my Twitter page quoting my tweets to call me stupid. And then he did a show about me and he called me a fool. Now, what I did was I went to an event that he was at today and I went to ask for a conversation. My arms were folded. I was not being aggressive and he kept pushing it off, kept trying to leave and not have a conversation with me. And you saw what happened on this video. This, guys, we cannot stand for. We cannot stand for voices to continue to be stumped on because they don't agree with you. I don't have to agree with Roland Martin to be smart. I can have my own views. I'm a grown man. And there's no reason why this man twice his age should be publicly calling me stupid, dumb, and a fool. But when I approach him in public, he has nothing to say to me. You got to do better. And we got to do better to stop supporting these guys who are disrespecting the voices who are doing the actual work.
And Jamal Green is doing the actual work. And like I said, Roland Martin talks a big game on Twitter. On Twitter, he does go after people. No joke. I love this. Jamal said, new profile pic. So he changed that to his new profile picture on Twitter. Love it, love it, love it. I told you all kind of craziness is happening at the DNC convention. He looked really shocked, but Jamal Green is standing on business. I want to show you some of the things that he has done, which Roland Martin apparently doesn't want to acknowledge. They're so quick to call people dumb because they don't want to support Kamala Harris, or because they're trying to be critical of these politicians, which I think you should be, regardless if it's your party or not. I'm not in the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. I'm a registered independent, but everybody should hold these politicians accountable, especially if you are one of their constituents. Now, he's done a lot. Always stand on business. We do the work, and he gets to call me dumb. This is some of the things that Jamal Green has done. By the way, he's 27 years old. He forced Chase Bank to give back $1 billion to the South and West sides. He gave out $250,000 to get businesses back open after looting. He secured over $10 million in mortgages for first-time home owners. So it looks like he knows what he's talking about. Okay, when he was talking about the home ownership. He secured over $20 million for thousands of small businesses to stay afloat during the pandemic. He fed thousands of families with free groceries living in food deserts. He created the first ever youth commission of the city of Chicago. He helps bring police reforms to Chicago. This is the consent decree, body cameras, tasers, and more. So he was a part of all that. He goes on to say here, mentored dozens of at-risk youth. He helped lead movements, Laquan McDonald, George Floyd, and many more. He was the youngest to ever run for mayor of Chicago. So this is not just someone that just woke up one day and said, I'm just going to criticize Kamala Harris and I'm going to show up and yell at Roland Martin. This is someone who has been active in the community, that's been helping out people in the community, and he wants these politicians to do better by the people. And this is who Roland Martin chose to attack. And Jamal Green was not having that. Not having that. Kudos to Jamal. Kudos to Jamal. I love that picture. I'm sorry. It was hilarious. I love it.